stand by. Get rid of you little.
I'll make you a producer.
Okay, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting the show shortly. And so stand by. We're going to get rid of Waitbot. You obnoxious little soul. Thank you.
Ooh, he is loud.
Oh, man.
And loud. Really.
Okay, so hold on a second. I was just going to, as we prepare the show and do the pre-show, and I want to invite my followers. And you guys, everybody, invite all your followers. Just go select all down on the bottom left. Select all, like I just did. Invite. Whoops. Invite. Thank you. So if everybody does that, that would be awesome. The other thing, hey, Deanna, I need to, I thought I would just run the montage that I created for the clip show the other day. And it's like,
definitely. It's so good.
Yeah. And so as people come in, we'll start the show with that. But hold on, I want to see. I was trying to cue it up properly. You guys have a little patience. Okay, we have to do pre-show, in-show, which we really hope it changes. But hold on.
Having already.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Sometimes all right. So we'll go on video in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Should we put anything in the fortune cookie?
We haven't been doing that so far. Do you want me to?
What could we put in there? Oh, you know what I pulled up? Anyway, hold on. Let's wait for everybody. You guys get people to pile in. Ron, Dale, I think Bad Bunny's going to be here a little bit later. Hi, Judy. Hey, Weidi. Let's see.
Did you call that Waitbot Weidi?
Yeah, I call him Weidi. There's Woody and Weidi and Wendi. Woody, Weidi, and Wendi. You haven't heard me talk about Woody, Weidi, and Wendi?
I don't know if I heard the Weidi part, but maybe.
Yeah. So, what's kind of fun is not being on video. Isn't it kind of fun not to be on video?
Well, it is because I'm starving, so I'm eating a little bit right now. We're not on video.
Good. Yeah, we here on Fireside, we are just waiting for the audience to pile in. Like any good live show, your audience actually is in the studio before you start the show. Here on Fireside, we start the show. And then we wait for the audience to show up.
That's all right.
That's kind of funny.
Things, it's innovative.
Mm-hmm. So this is the most uncomfortable. This is like the stand-up comedy act, the pre-show for the show, when the hosts of the show have no freaking idea what to do at this point right now.
Right, like that monologuing. So who follows Mrs. Maisel? Because that was great when she and Jane Lynch's character.
Oh yeah,
when they fought over the monologue, that was great.
Yeah, I always like. Okay, so we're waiting for the audience to build. So you guys, hi. I actually have my Johnny Depp sunglasses on. Hi, Janie, welcome. If you want to. Oh, I probably should be sharing. Let me see if I can share this on my YouTube. Hold on. Broadcast to the world. It has to be my show to go to my YouTube.
Yeah,
it's your show, Deanna, so it doesn't go to my YouTube.
No, and it doesn't go to mine either. That's the fun part because I can't figure out how to do it. So I still haven't gotten that figured out. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to figure this out.
You just go to your YouTube channel. Oh, so we're waiting for people to pile in. So you guys, okay, we're going to start at 7:05. We start the show. You just go to your YouTube channel. What I do, I go to my YouTube channel and I just got my link to my YouTube channel and I put it in the YouTube thing.
I think there was something going. Yeah, I think there was something going on because I started a new channel for this so that it would be separate from all my other clutter, and it wasn't approved for live yet. Maybe.
Oh, there you go.
Live streaming.
That's why.
Maybe
yeah,
that's
you have to be a live creator. You have to be a creator.
Yeah, and I think it is now. I just have to go back and get it done. You're done.
All right. So welcome. This is Deanna's show, but for some reason I always freaking take over. We are co-hosting the DeppHeard AfterBuzz.
About to your command, my lady.
Here we go.
Created live on Fireside.
Okay. And then I'm going to play the trailer, the montage, you guys, for anybody that needs to catch up. I know Waitbot needs to catch up on this, but I did a montage from our clip show on Friday where everybody gets to share clips, which we will do again this Friday. So just know that. Find your clips, come and share your clips. And here, let's try to invite people into this show because that's just, what we do here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it.
Having already lost one libel trial in London in 2020, the actor is now suing Miss Heard for $50 million over an opinion piece she wrote in the Washington Post in 2018.
We're going to find out whether or not Amber Heard shit in the bed next on the Joe Rogan Experience.
He's suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for calling him a wife beater, allegedly. Let's see what's going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in a case that's ultimately pretty painful and weirdly salacious.
Johnny Depp claims his career has been devastated by the allegations of his former wife, the actress Amber Heard, that she was a victim of domestic abuse during their marriage. He claims was about her allegations during their relationship, all broadcast, of course, on live TV.
A sort of phatic ersatz pop culture distraction, or is this an opportunity for us to access personal and social meaning?
Yeah, it's the whole Johnny Depp thing is just, he was famous when he was 20, and I don't think you get any kind of perspective like that. I think you're fucked.
I suppose when there's a trial around domestic abuse, it's necessary to say that domestic abuse is a really serious and awful problem. Violence within a domestic setting, family violence, abuse. Those of you that have experience of that won't need to be told how serious it is. And I think so many of us are carrying unaddressed trauma. But when something like this happens on a public scale, we're all affected by it intimately and emotionally, and it becomes an opportunity for us to catharsize our own feelings. You want some lowlights? Here's some lowlights.
After the wedding, there was a dinner, dancing, and drugs.
You can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine.
You would sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings, too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
I hope I'm not fucking that up. But he knows her. He knows her well. And he's like, she's out of her fucking mind. And I'm like a crazy actress. He's like, yeah like those are real.
Of course, there's a ton of them.
There's a lot of them.
That's why they're good.
That's why they're good.
Yeah, they're great actresses.
They can just start crying.
Oh, yeah.
I always try, when thinking about stuff like this, to acknowledge my own fallibility and acknowledge my own sort of tendency and desire to sort of judge them, my own sort of thirst for simplicity. Well, she must be this, or he must be this. It's weird, isn't it, that we want things to be simple, that we don't like complexity. But here complexity is. And living in this sort of cellular, atomized culture where many of us live in cities, where many of us don't know our neighbors, the appeal of this drama, of this new mythic drama that we can all access, heroes, villains, gods, goddesses, presented to us in this new form, all those ancient emotions come out.
I don't believe that I'm the only human being that's ever punched a door or broken something on.
All it's been that we've all punched the cabinet, kicked the door, went outside and said, what the hell? Or in some cases, just went outside and never came back.
Of course, everyone has dirty laundry in an ugly divorce. In this case, the dirty laundry here was, in fact, really dirty laundry.
My side of the bed was human fecal matter.
And he's saying, no, I'm all these things because of my relationship.
And the whole world shared her trip to 21 Jump Street. It's sad, kind of gross, kind of riveting, but it's also kind of inspiring.
Depp is bound like Prometheus having his guts picked out for eternity by a media that doesn't care about you either, that wants you dumb, spellbound and distracted.
Imagine a conversation with a guy. Guys can't compute it where it's like, oh, so I hit you, I punched you, stop being a baby. They wouldn't get to the phrase, stop being a but before they got punched back. That's how it works. Amber Heard hit Johnny Depp. She deserves to feel the brunt of Johnny Depp defending himself, which he didn't do, like any man would. And because he doesn't, what's your choice? Defend yourself, in which case you lose, you're a domestic abuser, or a woman who keeps coming and coming and coming, not only emotionally, psychologically, but physically, and then you're a weakling.
Unlike the London case he lost against the Sun newspaper for labelling him a wife-beater, this is a trial with a jury, which means Mr. Depp gets to appear for the first time in person, slick, and he hopes persuasive.
It's a good reminder as well, isn't it, that celebrity is not the answer to your problems. You know, like most kids these days want to grow up famous. Then I'll grow up famous, and then I'll be a big star, and then I'll be in a pirate movie, and then I'll get terrible addiction issues, and then I'll have my private life play out in a court on TV. I'll be humiliated.
You, by the way, I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
No, I've been a long time.
I've been punched a lot.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you.
Reverse the roles.
I did not
Yeah.
you. I was hitting you.
Yeah,
I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
Oh, yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here. Am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you, baby.
Yeah.
Because you start.
You are such a baby. Oh,
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did. So I had.
Because, yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
This is the problem with, look, this is not meant for all women, so please don't get upset. I'm speaking in generalizations here about women like Amber Heard. And there are more of them out there than many people like to admit, and there are also more men out there, like, I don't know, take your pick, Michael Vicks, than many people care to admit. But this is something that happens a lot, and this is a form of mental abuse, of emotional abuse that occurs toward men quite a bit, beyond the fact that physical abuse occurs against men in domestic relationships more often than the other way around. Something you probably didn't know. What she does is, I didn't hit you, I didn't punch you the right way, I hit you this way. And then what they do is they emotionally abuse someone and say, oh, you're such a wimp. Oh, I can't believe you're complaining about this. You think she might be a baby if Johnny Depp hit her? Closed fist or not? Do you think she'd be saying? I'm not a baby and wipe it, or do you think she'd be going, oh, how could you hit me? Oh, think about that for a second.
Give us any embarrassment of riches, and we could turn it into an embarrassment of embarrassments. But what makes you immune to suffering is your ability to cease judging other people, even as they judge you. So when I watch Depp, I see a human sacrifice, an act of liberation for all of us, whether he knows it or not. He's embarrassing himself for all our sins. Fact is, I'm a weirdo, and I don't care if anyone judges me for that, since I won't judge them in return. That's freedom, because we're all hopeless sinners and fools and humans. Depp is doing the best performance of his career, performing a sacrificial act for us. He's saying, I'm not just like you, I might be worse, and no yachts or mansions can save me.
And that is the montage from last week's clip show that I created. I hope that fills everybody in. Thank you.
I love it.
And so, yeah, that's kind of who is in there. So that's Russell Brand, Joe Rogan. And then I have, I'll have updates on Friday because it was the stuff I found today was crazy. But so Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, a guy that does the entertainment kind of opinion show on Fox. So I tried to grab things from different opinions and different types of people and their viewpoints. And he was the one that was talking about how it's aspiring and inspiring, right? What he's doing. And this guy from Fox. And then who else did I have in there? Oh, the guys that really went off on, that's mental abuse towards men. These were three or four white guys on YouTube that have a show. And I grabbed the clips and they were saying it from a male point of view. But I thought it was interesting because they really weren't correlating the entire thing as a generalization that it happens to men and women. This one guy, and I'm sorry, I can attribute it and look it up and put it in show notes if you guys need to see who it is. But it was just interesting, their point of view from a man's point of view. So I included that. And that's why that's in there. The guy that says, no, it's not about, to all women or whatever. So I really tried to just include everything. And then I would throw in my comedy music only to make my own point where, Joe Rogan actually and his guests were like swearing of what a great actress Amber Heard was.
So that's why you definitely have to play the comedy music. Are we ready for video?
Sure. Why not?
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, I never do it the right way. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to communicate with the tower to have us go camera 1, camera 2. All right. Close up on Wendi. There we go. I got a close up on Wendi. Okay. Yeah, I'm wearing my Ray-Bans. Johnny Depp, actually, I did look up his fashion in yesterday's show. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Gail. Hi, Janie. Janie, and then everybody down
Ron
the row.
And Dale. Ron and Dale. And who we got at the end? Judy.
Oh, Judy. Hi, Judy. We mentioned yesterday, I mentioned the fashion, right? Like going in, it would be a kind of funny to do a thing where going into the courtroom, it's almost like, so who are you wearing today, Mr. Depp? Like they do on the red carpet. So I wanted to see if I could find out who he's wearing. Right? Who is Johnny Depp wearing in court? Because I recognize the ties as they're either Hugo Boss or Armani, and I'm not sure which one, but I think they're all Armani, Giorgio Armani. But I want to know who his suits are. So no one is claiming it because I think that they don't want to. I couldn't find it anywhere.
They're waiting
anywhere.
They're waiting. But I think the glasses he's wearing aren't truly sunglasses, are they? Are they blue blockers?
No, they're Peoples. They're Peoples. Jonathan Killy Riley People. Who is it? Who's the people guy? Peoples and Peoples. It started off as a little store here in Hollywood on Sunset, and so he's that's the brand that he's wearing. So I have the sunglasses. I knew are Oliver Peoples. I think is the guy's name. Is the brand's name. Okay. And they're real glasses. And then they show his rings. Who makes his rings that he wears, the ones that he's wearing. So you can find that. You cannot find who he's wearing suit-wise.
Like his suit or his tie. Right. No. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because brands don't want to attach right now at the current moment to the trial. Or else I think it would be cool to know who they're wearing every time they come in, make it a fashion statement.
Can we figure out who Elena is wearing?
She wears the same thing every day. She wears her reversible jacket or whatever. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, today, Deanna. Sorry. Oh, shut up. Okay. Deanna had a very long, wonderful show and interview on her Laughter After show, ladies in the audience and everybody in the audience, for about an hour and a half prior to this show tonight. And she only had about a 20-minute break. So we are basically going on the fly. Deanna, we did not talk about the most important subject of the day in the green room. The most important subject of the day was I'm going to play it. Okay. You ready?
Okay. Play it.
Oh, wait, ladies and gentlemen, I got to rewind. I am the worst person when it comes to producing. That's why I always have a producer.
No, she's not. I don't even have the clips. How could you be worse than me?
Okay, here we go.
This motion to strike reflect badly on Amber's team. And was the jury there?
Okay, hold on.
This motion to strike reflect badly on Amber's team? And was the jury there, or will they find out what occurred? Let me just tackle the last part. No, the jury was not present for that. They're not supposed to know anything about this motion to strike. They shouldn't read anything about the motion to strike. I will tell you real quick, Deanna, that when I was in that courtroom and the judge said that denying the motion for at least two of those statements, the third one
this is from Crime Law TV.
There were people in that courtroom who were clapping almost. They were like, yes, they want this case to proceed. Clearly they are Johnny Depp supporters. But Deanna, I'll give you a chance to respond to this. For all of us watching, does it reflect badly on Amber Heard's team that they did not get this to be successful?
It shouldn't, because it's actually a very high burden for them to have met, which is that looking at all the...
Okay, so today, the day started off with Amber's team requesting a motion to strike everything, right?
So we're not counting the nurse.
Motion to strike. It was just like,
right.
Let's have a motion to strike. And so the jury isn't there when that's happening. And they state their case, right? And then the Johnny Depp side comes up and says, come on. Really?
Right.
They say all the reasons why it shouldn't be. And no, there was three motions. There was three things to strike from the record. I'm not clear on what they were. You might know, Deanna, because you're into those minutia details. But anyway, the judge found that two of them, you're out of your freaking mind. So what did that really mean? That was because they wanted to strike the entire testimonies of who?
They wanted, so the third one was something they haven't even testified in.
Right, exactly.
She's like, I can't strike this because I don't have
anything to strike.
The evidence. Yeah, it hasn't been admitted yet for it to be stricken.
So the people who bother me the most, for everybody in the audience, and I'm very expressive. And by the way, the opinions stated in this show are the opinions only of the host, not of Fireside, and of Deanna and I. And if I insult anybody ever, sometimes I just do. It's a show, for crying out loud. Oops. It is a show. Talk to Phyllis Diller about insulting people, or Jay Leno or whatever. But anyway, okay. So I got that out of the way because I had to say that because I got it.
We also got the very first witness on the stand out of the way. We didn't even talk about her. That nurse that had a carryover from yesterday. It was horrible. I didn't watch her.
Do we have to talk about her because she was so horrible? I have a tendency to dismiss her out of my entire energy zone.
I know. We skipped her entirely. It's great.
Yeah, because she's not relevant.
She's not
like the muffins weren't really relevant at one stage.
She's married to the Muffin Man.
Right. Deanna was really sick. Okay, so the relevance of this is that the jury didn't hear it. They really tried to do something. They tried to strike a lot of the testimony of whomever, Deanna, if you know, and it didn't make it Amber look weak on her side. So that was exciting morning. The judge said, no, you can't do that. We had to listen to that. I have a bone to pick with the attorneys of Amber Heard. The attorneys of Amber Heard, at least the attorneys that represent Johnny Depp, are decent people and they treat people decently. Now, granted, all the witnesses so far have been their witnesses to call, right? But the attorneys for Amber Heard, they're so rude and manipulative, and so like the nurse today or the psychologist today. Let's jump to her. She was so freaking one-sided. It was crazy. This is the first witness for Amber Heard. All right, Deanna. Deanna, are you live?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm live. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the first one for her. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what happened?
Oh, I thought you were playing a clip. I'm sorry. Well, so I think that one of the things that I actually am going to give credit first. One of the things that I liked about her was that she did a lot of tests, like way more than Dr. Curry, who was the other expert witness. Like, she did a lot more tests. I don't know that all of them have a whole lot of weight, but it does help you to see some different aspects of, Amber. She didn't really buy in so much to the personality stuff, but
did you see
it exposed a lot.
Did you see what struck me, Deanna, was, and I don't know if this is the new PR team. Okay. So, but think about this while you're talking.
Oh.
But if you guys go on YouTube and look at Amber today while the psychologist was testifying, and she was talking about her background, her upbringing, and the abuse and the drugs and everything in Amber Heard's background. So we're now hearing about her story.
Right.
She had emotion in her face. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I saw, and I don't know if she's just acting, right? But she was, she's reacting to it. She wasn't stoic. She wasn't snotty. I saw it really.
Right.
Yeah.
And some lip trembling, chin trembling, just a little bit of a different piece. And part of what the psychologist brought up was that sometimes that stoic front, and I don't know if they practiced her on this because of how people are perceiving Amber Heard right now. I don't know if they practiced this witness, which they can do up until the time they take the stand, and then they can't talk about it to anybody. But she brought up that stoicness as being a protective arm, thing that used to, disconnect and disengage. And so there were some things that they brought up, and I said, okay, well, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that that's how she's been. Then today, I did see some emotion. I did see some near tears that looked legit, and like I said, I think yesterday, I said, if I had to sit through this, I would be shaking. I wouldn't be, it would be difficult for me to maintain my composure, because a lot of the things and tapes and all of this stuff should be triggering, for most people, especially, victims. These things are very triggering if you hear these, or certain sounds, or certain noises, or replaying the whole incident. I get that we're years removed from it, so maybe there's been some work that's gone on, but today was the first time that she and her braids have had a little bit of emotion.
Right. So here, while you're talking, as I've got the psychologist up, and I'm looking through the closed caption so we can start it, because I listened to her whole thing, so people can know what we're talking about. And hold on one second.
So I'll bring up a couple of the points of the I'm trying to find the specifics, but I remember when they were talking on trying to dismiss this, what they were trying to do is they really wanted to dismiss the whole thing based on these 3 points, one of which was not in evidence, one of which is the burden of the proof that they decided to go with was implication and intention behind the article, which is what they had to go with because his name is not in the article. And they felt like those things were not, that burden was not born. They didn't prove or able to submit substantial information. They basically said they didn't submit enough information to prove that they had a case. Not that they were right or wrong, but that they even had a case. And so with that, saying that they quoted,
that was for the motion to dismiss. Motion to, yeah, right. Thank you for reminding me. That's right. It's about the headline and the title in the op-ed piece, the intention, right?
Right. So it was all of it. And they kept, saying that they didn't, that Johnny Depp's team did not do their job and giving enough information to create a foundation that this should be a case. And then they named a couple of ways in which that had to be happening, which is all legal stuff. And we can't ever get any legal people to show up for us. Still
no,
trying
I
to
asked
get
Fred. He's having dinner. I asked him.
Did he say he might pop in after dinner? But
this
anyway,
is not feigned symptomatology.
Okay, so hold on. She was on the stand for a very long time, so I'm scrubbing through.
So she was on the stand most of the day. So the nurse came on this morning. They took a break, and then she got on the stand till lunch. They took a break, came back. She stayed on the stand, and she never even got to cross-examination the whole time, which is probably about the better part of 4.5 hours.
All right. So this is where the Amber Heard's female attorney, who can be really weird. She is being very nice to one of their first witnesses, testimonies, which is a psychologist that is now is there to debunk, basically, the psychologist, Dr. Curry, who had also evaluated Amber Heard. Okay, so this is the other side. And I'm just going to play, this is hours in, and this is where she starts to talk to, I believe, the PTSD, and then she goes on about whatever. But here, I'm going to let it play for a few minutes because this is the actual full-length thing.
Into my mind. No, what is it? What comes into your mind? What bothers you? What are the triggers? And those were all specific to Miss Heard's relationship with Mr. Depp. The reason the childhood is also significant is that we know that if somebody suffers childhood abuse as a child, they are much more likely to have an adult re-victimization. And they're much more likely then to be more vulnerable to obtaining a PTSD, to getting PTSD if they've had that prior vulnerability. So it's a very strong vulnerability characteristic to obtaining PTSD when you have a subsequent trauma. The other aspect about her childhood abuse is that she was raised in a family of violence. She was physically abused by her father.
So they're showing her face at this time.
She saw her father abuse her mother. Her father was very explosive and had violent outbursts. And both her parents also struggled with substance abuse very significantly. So she had learned from a very early age how to caretake.
She's still looking down.
Live in a situation that is mired in chaos. How do I take care of a parent who's passed out, knotted out from heroin? And how do I get up and get my sister to school? But this is her childhood. She learned at a very early age that she had to figure out how to do this in this scenario. And I would say lastly, what that environment taught her was that she learned that she could love someone who hurts her. She knew that people who hurt her also can love her. And she learned how to have this tolerance for cognitive inconsistency, this tolerance for two should be diametrically opposed emotions. But she grew up knowing or believing perhaps that this could happen. And she also believed that she could fix him, just like she tried to fix her father and just like she tried to fix her mother. She truly, truly believed that she could fix Mr. Depp and rid him of his substance abuse problems. But that did not work.
So when I heard her say that, the first thing that came to mind for me was, and I'm looking at Amber, you can see this it's on Crime Law on YouTube channel, and it's a split screen, and she really does look affected as she's recanting the childhood traumas, right? But that's the childhood, and she really looks authentically like really there, like it took her back, like you said, Deanna, and she's having all of those kind of visceral emotions as she's listening to that. But on the other hand, we're talking to a psychologist who's very well trained, who also knows how to trigger that emotion in somebody, if you know what I mean.
Yes, right, and they do. There is right, and they a person who's trained in PTSD knows how to bring up a flashback, because that's how you, especially if you're a person who does neurofeedback or anything like that, you know how to bring up a flashback, because bringing up the flashback is what helps you see the brain activity and the response to the trauma, to know if what parts of the brain's being shut off, whatever. So they are trained to be able to bring that up. So yeah, I mean,
that, and then after that was when she says that she could, sorry, my ring light is so bright. I think it's too bright. I'm going to turn it down, but I have to put these on because I have to look at this too. Okay. So, that she thought she could fix Mr. Depp from his drug, and alcohol addiction. Well, I think she was the one that was also doing mushrooms and drinking 3-4 bottles of wine a day. I mean, she was doing
asking Johnny to bring home weed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anything that wasn't done together.
Exactly. She does talk about that though too. The psychologist says let's see what question comes next from my beloved.
Did you review Dr. Curry's CAPS 5 that she administered to Amber Heard?
Yes, I did.
And what, if any, agreement did you have with Dr. Curry's interpretation of the CAPS 5?
I didn't agree with her interpretation, having been a trauma psychologist for over 25 years and administered hundreds of these. I found that there were flaws in how she chose to administer it, and then some of the coding. Misheard on that CAPS 5 to Dr. Curry certainly reported trauma-based symptomatology related to the abuse by Mr. Depp, but somehow that was not coded as such.
Mm-hmm. And did you review Dr. Curry's MMPI 2 that she administered on Amber Heard?
Yes, I did.
And do you agree with her interpretations on that test?
No, I do not.
Of course not.
Because this profile is a normal profile. It is, there are no...
Wait, if I was Amber Heard's attorney right now, the next line would be, well, of course not, because you wouldn't be here if you had agreed.
And that's what's going to happen on cross, because that's exactly what happened to Dr. Curry on cross-examination, right? As soon as she was cross-examined, it was, hey, who's paying you? And let's go into how you got paid in the meetings and all the muffins, because if you didn't have the findings they wanted you to have, you wouldn't be sitting in this chair. And the truth is, they would have had to pay her and her findings. She may not have testified, but the findings would have been the findings. And, I don't know that necessarily would have changed.
Well, would be interested, because you like this kind of stuff, Deanna. Deanna really likes the minutia, is how did they actually find her? I wonder if they're going to go like how Dr. Curry went to a dinner and got, wasted with Johnny Depp.
She was found first.
Oh, this one was found first?
Yes. So what happened was they entered her into the witness list, and because they wanted to present her as an expert witness, the other side gets to have their own expert as well. So, because remember, I was like, why would you even allow yourself to be analyzed by Johnny Depp's person that they picked?
Okay,
right?
So
why
she
would
had
you
already
allow
been
that?
analyzed. Had she already been analyzed by this doctor? What is her name?
Hughes. Her name is Hughes.
Before that,
Dawn Hughes.
Before
yeah,
that?
yeah. So she was already on the agenda, and therefore they allowed a court-appointed doctor that they got to choose from. So they probably had 2 or 3 choices that they could pick from, and she was the one they interviewed and went with.
I wonder how much money she got paid.
Oh, they asked her. They definitely asked her how much she got paid per hour. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, they definitely asked her. They asked both of them.
Okay, so let's finish this up.
Clinical scores elevated above 65, which is 1.5 standard deviations of the mean, which is what we use to determine clinical significance. And if none of those scales are elevated, it becomes very difficult for us to make assumptions about a person's psychology and their functioning. Now, remember, the psychological testing generates hypotheses about a person that we then, using our clinical judgment, have to make a decision about. We have to make an assessment about it. And if none of those scales are elevated, it just doesn't give us rich information to make those determinations. The one scale which is accurate that was elevated was one that measures defensive responding, sort of a protective responding, an unwillingness to admit minor faults. That was elevated, and that was true. But the result of that is you have a defensive profile. You have somebody who's not giving you a lot of information. So the scales are all low. So there's no way you can take that MMPI and then say it meets, it's consistent with borderline personality disorder. You just don't have the symptom expression on it in order to do that.
Oh, pause.
And
so
that's my next question here.
I don't, and I think the rebuttal is going to come back because they're going to call. She's up for recall. That's why she's sitting in the audience today listening. Dr. Curry's there listening because she's going to have to rebut this testimony, right? And she's sitting out there listening, and I have the feeling that she is going to come back and say that, yes, I administer a test, and then I have to give my own clinical assessment based on all of the other information that I've gathered. And based on all of that, and this test and her score being so normal here, whereas other places it was out, shows that she was feigning, or, and that is what Curry kept saying was the issue is that she's faking it.
Right.
So
exactly.
She's faking normalcy in one place. She's overly faking trauma in another place. And so I'm not falling for that, and,
okay.
This psychologist, go ahead.
This psychologist feels as though she did a lot more testing. She went through her background. She's very, she's not Hollywood like Curry is. Dr. Curry is a little bit Hollywood, I have to say. She's a little Hollywood.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Right. And this one isn't. This one is somebody I would, if you can see her, if you go on YouTube and you can look at her, she is somebody that I would think probably did public service at one time. She kind of looks like that kind of person.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm
right.
not
Dr.
judging
Curry
anybody.
is like too cute to be clinical.
Yeah, she's got the cool glasses and she's, but no, she is very Hollywood. And this person is more practical. But I have that instinct just because I'm in Hollywood. Right.
Right.
So, but that doesn't take away from their education, their skills, their professionality, none of that. They just go about things differently. Okay. And this one really did a lot of testing, and she's very meticulous. She knows exactly what questions she was going to be asked by this lady, by the attorney. The attorney is so sweet to her, which is always nasty to everybody else, sets her up with, okay, first I'm going to ask you, what is this? And she had it recited, basically. I'm going to ask you, what is this? And she had it recited. So it was all very, very curated. This whole testimonial, I felt, was extremely curated.
Right. And that's what I was saying, too. Like, there was some areas that you could tell were coached, where you just purposely brought up this stoicness. You know what I mean? Like, there was some coaching in there.
Yes.
The other thing.
Oh, that's not why I brought that up. Is Dr. Curry allowed to be in the audience?
Yes.
Is she in the audience?
Yes. If you're an expert witness,
the testimony, or
if you're an expert witness, you get to watch.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. So if you are up to be recalled and you're an expert witness, you can stay in the audience. If you are not an expert witness, but you are up for recall, you have to leave. And then if you're not up for recall at all, then you can stay in the audience as well. Like, his sister's not up for recall. She can hang out in the audience if she wants to.
But they're not supposed to look at any testimony or anything like that
the expert witnesses can.
Oh, okay.
Because they get to gather all the information.
Oh, all right. All right, cool.
But if you're not an expert and you're coming back up on the stand or have the possibility to come back, in other words, you're on the recall list, you can't stay. Only the experts can stay.
Go past that text.
Okay. So let's see. There is one point where, hold on. No, never mind. Okay. So Deanna, what time is it? It's 7:43. Yeah. So, hey, Brandy. Hey, Gail. Hey, Toothfall.
Yeah. Hey, so if anybody wants to come up and chat and ask some questions about today,
opinions. We love your opinions.
Yeah, or opinions, whatever. We are going to end on the hour today, only because we kind of really only had 2 testimonies. I'm going to talk about the second one while we're waiting for people to come up that we didn't talk about. We forgot about this one too, and that is the accountant. He was also before the psychologist, before Amber Heard stuff started. But the we're going to end on time.
What kind of accountant was
because
he? He was a specialist. So let me.
he was a forensic accountant.
Right.
Forensic, and he had a background in audit as well. And, and so I was telling Wendi before, like I would have wanted to hear more of his methodology, because I know that there was more in the background that he did to actually come to his numbers than what he was able to say on the stand. He really wasn't on the stand that long. Even his cross-examination wasn't very long, which is unusual because everything's been drug out so much over the course of time that when they finally rested, I was like, oh, that was a lot shorter than I expected it to be.
Well, I think that was because they've already established the loss of income, and it was just another guy to reinforce that he lost income in this year compared to that year. Deanna has a problem with how they compared the years, but
no, I don't have a problem with how they compared the years. That's not what I was saying. But what I was saying was I would like to see all the other information that went into it, because that's not all he did. I'm just saying that's really not all he did. To create that analysis, you're forced to come at it at more than one angle, and he was just not. They didn't ask him enough questions where he was able to reveal all of that. I don't have a problem with the years, but but anyway, there's some other things that
Yeah, I think it was cut short because it was just kind of like not super. Like it wasn't bringing the value.
Yeah.
What's really cool to listen to is, okay, go ahead.
I have a question for you. Do you feel like, so up until now, we have really been a little bit hard on Amber as far as showing no emotion, not doing things consistent with a person who has been victimized. Look, I'm recognizing that no matter what, there's no way she was not abusive. There's nothing that you're going to tell me and nothing in her testimony that can say that she wasn't. She admittedly was abusive. Even the psychologist said that and then tried to say it was minor. And I'm like, no, you don't get to call spitting, throwing things at people and hitting them with a minor and the punch major. You don't get to put levels on that kind of stuff. I just don't believe that. But do you think that this did what they wanted it to do, which is why they put the psychologist up first before Amber? Do you think this did what they wanted it to do by softening people a little bit towards Amber before she takes the stand?
Well, I don't think that, yes, obviously, there's always a strategy to every tactic. So, but I think it also gives a backstory about Amber, right? And so, now the audience is more captivated, people watching. Even, if I can play a little of what Russell Brand did today, because what I had in my montage was Russell Brand saying, this is ridiculous. Now he's saying, oh my gosh, it's like, I'm even sucked in,
right. And so,
yes and no. Yes, and my answer would be yes and no, I guess.
So initially she was going to be on the stand first. That was the plan. That was the layout. And they changed that over the weekend. Also, when they changed the PR company, they changed that. And that might have been a PR call. Like, hey, don't put her on the stand first.
Yeah.
We need to soften people up, and we need to put some background behind this from some credible source.
The new PR firm. Yeah.
Right. From some credible source that's going to put her in a different light so that when she takes the stand, people buy it, right? Regardless whether they're buying it true or buying it not, that people, and that's the whole point. You're dealing with a jury.
You're creating empathy for her. You're creating at least a little. And I have to admit, I have no idea who this woman is other than she was the one that basically made me think that Johnny Depp back in the day was a wife beater. And I thought that was just horrible because I've always loved Johnny Depp. And then I never paid attention to it. It's not like I wouldn't watch a movie because Johnny Depp was in it or anything like that.
Right.
But I just knew that he had like these personal problems with her. Okay. That's the last I knew until this trial.
Right.
So, why am I saying that? I'm saying that for a reason. What were you saying, Deanna? I'm sorry.
Because you didn't know who Amber was. I don't even know who she is.
So I didn't, So I don't know. So I have no preconception of who she is, anything. And so establishing her story is, I'm sure the PR company came in basically, I'm not sure, but I would hope, and say, hey, what are you doing? You're not you're making her look like an abrasive bitch that's so stoic. Somebody has advised her to sit there and show absolutely no emotion and kind of always have her snootiness up in the air, nose up in the air, which was hurting her. So I'm feeling empathy for her because I did not know she came from a very abusive childhood, which Johnny Depp did also. Birds of a feather flock together, by the way. That her mother and her father were drug addicts. That this sister that they talk about, her mother, I think, died of cancer or something like that 2 years ago, or is dead now, passed away 2 years ago. The sister, I'm assuming the sister is Whitney, the one that she keeps talking about, which they made reference to today, in that she had to protect her younger sister. Her mother and father passed out from heroin on the couch. Now, who knows if any of that, I would have called hearsay and all that stuff, because
they tried.
They did?
Yes. They tried. They also let this woman read from her notes, which is really not, again, this was against, it's against kind of courtroom
They
policy.
stopped her at one point from doing that. At a certain point, they
finally,
told her,
because they kept objecting and objecting. They're like, no, unless you're admitting this into evidence, she doesn't get to read from this.
Right.
And she kept saying, I'm just trying to glance at them to remind myself of the dates. No, you get to testify.
Yeah. And the way that she was, I'm sure that she's going to get killed on cross, because the way that she intentionally was going into these details about Amber's childhood on behalf of Amber. It's like, I think that's hearsay from what I now am learning from, spending all this time in a courtroom.
Yeah, and I think if she would have read it, it would have been hearsay, which is what the big issue was with her reading it, and not having admitted into evidence, right? It would be hearsay.
No.
But if she says, this is what Amber told me, and it was her testimony as a doctor, it would have been okay.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean?
She was reading off her notes. She was saying, how many tests did you give Amber? And she had to look. She goes, she went to the notes and she started to read all the tests. And then,
because she wanted to read all 12 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when they said, you can't do that. Sidebar, audio off, cut audio.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So many sidebars.
Yeah. So
anyway,
what's interesting,
I don't know why we don't have people coming up. Come on, Ron. You always like to come up and talk.
Well, everyone is welcome.
Gail, you don't have anything to say?
Yeah. Well, I think it's because you said, we can go a little bit over. I did take a pain pill, so I'm feeling better than I was when I first jumped in.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I had a little bit of a pain problem, ladies and gentlemen, earlier. And I told Deanna, and I said, oh, Deanna, I'm sitting on this stool and I'm like, but I'm feeling pretty good now.
Oh, well, good.
Team Depp.
Probably feeling better than me.
Where's the whiskey?
Right. Isn't any hour happy hour? I mean, that's what he said. He literally said that in his testimony. Oh my God. You got to love him. So my thing is, okay, again, I think I'm going to say this. I do think that Johnny Depp is a victim. I have not made my conclusion as to whether mutually, which is not really a thing, but that's what they're calling it. If mutually,
I have that.
Amber is also a victim, but I do feel like nobody wins this. But what I also feel like is that it still is pulling awareness into the public arena for the severity of this. And like you've said before in the past, that it doesn't matter who you are, where you are in life, your stature, your anything. It doesn't matter. This impacts anybody and everybody across the board.
For those listening, Deanna, this is what I wanted to say is, if you're new to this show that we've been doing now for the past week and a couple of days, Deanna and I, we started this show because we are both domestic violence survivors. And, seriously, and serious domestic violence on my side, and I had to plan an escape. So we're taking the viewpoint from Deanna actually is certified in coaching trauma patients, trauma clients,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a human that escaped in her 20s from this guy that was a wild banana, okay, and a drug addict, by the way. A drug addict that used to put a rifle in his mouth and tell me he's going to blow his brains out if I didn't do, I don't know what, but after
Whatever.
he had been
Water
up in
the
the
plants.
room for 3
Water
days.
the
right?
plants.
Mm-hmm. So
Wendi, water
anyway,
the plants.
Water the plants.
But I mean, I also know what it feels like to have a crazy person in the house that actually owns a gun and hide and lock yourself behind, a washer and dryer in a bathroom. I mean, it's crazy stuff. And so, I get the idea of dissociation. I get the idea of disengaging. I also understood when she talked about, the psychologist today talked about, not everybody is docile and just takes it. And I was not that person. There were times that I did, and there were times that I defended myself and took a stand. It just depended on where I was emotionally and whether or not I was, ready for a fight. I don't know, wherever I was mentally, emotionally. So I understand all of those aspects. What I can see is Amber being damaged from her childhood. So far, I still don't see the damage with Johnny.
Right.
Now, with the testimony about the sexual abuse is when she started getting somewhat emotional, and there was some emotional stuff going on in her face. The problem that I'm having with that testimony is whether or not she was going against her own. You can do things consensually inside of a situation and later regret it. That's what I'm not sure of. In other words, look, nobody tells anybody what they can or cannot do in their private sex life.
I know where that's leading.
I know a guy
right?
who.
You know where that's leading. That's leading to when he put the bottle in her cuckoo.
No, I mean they talked about that.
Oh, they did?
They talked about the bottle. Yeah, and all she could think about was, I hope it's not the broken one. Yeah. That was in the testimony today from the doctor.
Oh, God, I missed that.
Him doing a cavity check because he thought she was hiding stuff in there. There was a whole bunch of testimonies when he got drunk. Yeah, girl, go. Mm-hmm. There was some pretty, yeah. Him being drunk and throwing her on the bed to have sex and then get mad if he didn't perform. And in one of his testimonies, he did talk about, going to the doctor and getting his little red pill. So I'm guessing maybe that.
Blue pill.
Was it blue?
Yes, blue.
Well, whatever.
You haven't needed to know that yet. Blue.
No, I have not. So anyway, the point is that you could see some emotion coming up in there, and I just haven't figured out how to read that part of the emotion either. Was it, he talked me into kinky sex and I regret it, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where that all is either. And so far, there have been no sex allegations brought up until she started talking about this today in the trial, other than the headline and the bottle. The bottle's been thrown around as a thing.
Right. So I'm going to have to go back and listen to that because I was waiting for her. Now, I have a problem with her being so detailed about things that happened to Amber in a testimony. I just have a problem with it. It's almost like, and then he did this and he did that and he did this. And the other thing that pissed me off about her was that when she was talking clinically, when she was talking about this kind of abuse or that kind of abuse or PTSD or whatever, she was always referring to he. As he, never one. Like if you're like in French, there's a word for
a person come right.
And you would say it's like one, and you're not saying he or she, especially in today's world of pronouns or whatever. And she just kept beating that in. It was like, and he would do this and he would do that and he would do this and he would do that, almost like it was just weird. You caught it also, right?
Yes, I definitely caught it. And I actually made a note about it in here with her saying that. a woman, she would, she kept referring to it only as though it happened.
A man.
Men will say they don't care. She is rendered helpless and hopeless. Everything was like that. Then she got to a point where she actually just named Johnny and Amber, and there was an objection that came up and said she just labeled the witnesses as these two things. And they overruled that objection, which I was surprised. I would have expected them to sustain that, but she did overrule that. But
she was really, she was really honing in.
She was very slant.
Yeah. If you guys watch it, or if you have watched it, we'd love for you guys to come up and give us your opinion, or, say anything you want, or even tell us you don't really give a shit. But the way how she was placing the scenario was she was making the jury envision in her sequelly, or however you say that thing,
soliloquy.
Thank you. That, here the he is Johnny Depp, the she is Amber. And that's how she went about saying, well, like, if it was this type of relationship, this is the things that would be happening, right? He would be doing this. She would be doing this.
He would do this. She would feel this. Right. This is what I wrote. Everything she says relates to the man as the perp.
That's right.
And says she doesn't get into an abusive relationship, etc. A woman, she would. In the lull, you're back in love and normalcy, and it's hard for her to extricate.
Right.
She tries to fix his behavior. Men will say they don't care. She is rendered helpless and hopeless. Like, I literally am typing notes while she was talking.
Thank you.
Was like bothering me.
Thank you. And I was clipping it. And then I was clipping it, ladies and gentlemen. I showed Deanna, I had like 25 clips, but I clipped most of my clips from this other guy's show because he had these great clips. And I go, oh, that's great. And I clipped it. And obviously I'm not allowed to share that clip because when I went back to all my clips, I clicked on them and it says, sorry, you can't use this clip.
Nope. Sorry. Not happening.
Every show it's a problem.
Ain't happening.
So, okay. So this is the only show we have never had. Where's Brian? Brian's not here. We can't close the show if Brian's not here.
Give it 2 minutes. As soon as we say we're closing the show, Brian will show up. He'll say, I don't know what y'all talking about. I have nothing to add, but I'm glad to be here. And we're going to be like, oh, we're glad to see you too, Brian.
Well, Truthful is here. And Truthful, we would love to have you come up. We would love Brandy to come up, please, if you would like to, of course. You don't have to come on video. You can just come up and be on audio only. So don't let that freak you out. Gail, also, at the end of the show, we'll bring Waitbot up against his will. Dale, Ron, Judy, come on up. And if you're not going to come up, do we have even our reactions turned off? Maybe, are you guys even there? Can you give us like a thumb? We don't have one reaction in the audience.
Right. Say somebody clap, somebody
Dale,
give us a party sign.
Ron, can
anything.
You do something? Do a reaction?
Are we live? I feel like hello.
Oh my God.
Anybody there?
Is anybody listening?
I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Judy.
Okay, Judy's here. Yay.
Judy won the prize. That is the trick.
And what does she get?
That's so funny. It's like, what's going on? This is a live show and we don't even, our audience is like dead.
They're listening to us like we watched the trial. They're all probably working, washing dishes, doing something else, and just listening to us jabber, 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 jabber.
It's so true. So was there?
It's okay. We have lots of opinions.
This is a couple of things that are fun. So the things that I want to know for tomorrow's show are, and I always come up with these super random things because really, Deanna loves the details. Like I said, Deanna and the details. But all right, here's a few things. Number one, who is the girl that sits next to Johnny Depp and gets to whisper in his ear every once in a while? I want to know.
She did an opening argument. Remember, she was part of the opening arguments for Johnny.
No,
two of the attorneys got up, and it's the one on the right and the left of him.
Oh my God, the young girl with the brown hair that's always on to the other side of him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
his left. Yeah.
Interesting. So they have so many attorneys that do different things, right? So every day it seems like there maybe there's a different attorney in the back that maybe is a better cross examiner.
Yeah, somebody who knows how to work inside the accounting forensics, and so they can, lead that testimony and do the
Ask
cross
the proper
exam. You know what I mean?
questions. Yeah. So you guys, here's the other things to look for. So if you watch it on YouTube at all, it's live on YouTube. Everybody has it live, and you can probably watch it on TV, on your phone, anywhere you go, you can listen to it.
I personally love Law and Crime Network. That's the one you told me about, Law and Crime Network. And I really like them, and they do some after show stuff, but so does Court TV. But if you watch it live on Court TV, it's edited. You don't get all of the details.
Law and Crime
because some things get a little graphic. Law and Crime is straight live.
Yeah, it's live. And then at breaks, sometimes they'll have that young guy that I started with come in, and they do cut away to some commentary. But they always go when it's live, it's live. You're in the courtroom, and that's right. It. So that's a great resource of where to watch it. Odds are tomorrow. Let's see, fashion wise, what do you think? Do you think the Hughes, Dr. Hughes, or whatever her name is going to show up in the traditional dark navy outfit with pearls like she did today? What's with the pearls and the dark navy?
Still going. I don't know, but I think she's going to be in the dark, what she thinks is lawyer outfit clothes. You know what I mean? I think what she thinks is a professional lawyer outfit clothing.
I just want somebody to wear a hot pink suit into that courtroom. Right. God damn it. Sorry.
I think that we might have a chance of hearing from Amber tomorrow
afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully she'll show up. Maybe she'll surprise us. Maybe she'll have a fancy little bouquet or button, or what do you call those things that you wear here? A pin, some jewelry,
a boutonniere.
Something. Damn it, something. Give us something, because today with that white blouse and that suit, so boring. They're not doing anything.
I just hope she's not wearing braids tomorrow. Like today, it was different. Her braids were here, and they back, and they wrapped around her bun.
Right, and they put a bump in her hair today.
Right. As opposed to coming this way. So,
I really could care about stuff like that. Pretty soon, it's going to be so weird that we're going to start talking about that cross-examination. The attorney whose name is Carl Correct. Carl Correct. I am Carl Correct. Correct.
Anything's got to be better than Rottenborn.
That
is her main attorney, is Rottenborn.
Oh.
Amber Heard's lead attorney, Rottenborn. That's the man you don't like. That's always mean.
That's the correct guy, isn't it? That's the guy he asks a question and he goes, correct.
Oh.
Right? Ask a question, and as you ask a question, before he even finishes the question, he's saying correct. And like everybody's going, whoa, dude, no, not correct.
And they're like, well, can I explain that? No, he tells them. No,
it's a yes
no.
Yes or no answer. It's a yes or no answer. Just answer me. Yes or no. Correct? No.
No, it's not correct. Then if I have to answer you and you won't let me explain, the answer is no, you're not correct.
That's right.
Until I can give you context, you're not correct. No.
And then he's like this little guy when he gets when somebody does that to him. It's like, well, can I please explain? Like the guy did today. It's like, can you just let me explain? It's an insult to a professional expert witness to treat them with no respect, to let them establish in some way their expertise in order to answer the correct or not correct.
Well, and you know how I like to watch some of the after commentary where there's lawyers on the screen talking and conversing over this with each other, and they're like, it's interesting because we're following this murder case over here and this case over there, and these cross examinations that get heated or disrespectful, they are reprimanded by the judge. And they're like, she's just so laid back and uninvolved, and she's not inserting herself, which is good. I mean, that's kind of what you want the judge to do. You want her to rule on the laws that are part of the trial process, but then you want her to keep her nose out of it, right? Like they turned to the judge and she was like, can I read from my notes? And she says, do not address the court. Mm-hmm. You, the witness, cannot address the court. So she asked the lawyer, Elena, and Elena was like, yes. And then, of course, the minute she started to read, there was an objection, like, no, yes, no. It's like, it's kind of like a circus, but it is intriguing to me. And I do like the details. So
you do. Yeah. And well, I'm doing other things while I'm also listening to this. We both do other things, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. And so it isn't like we're totally obsessed.
We actually have jobs.
Yeah.
This is not our job. It's crazy.
Exactly. It's like, it's my husband. Then I have to tell my husband, okay, remember I have the show from 7, because I'm on the West Coast, from 7 until like 8:30. And so then he plans what he does around and then, we get back to life after 8:30. But
well, here's the thing. Friday, we'll do our clip show. And I think all of next week, the court is closed.
Good. And why is that? Because it's a holiday, or it's just time off?
Is it Memorial Day? Is it Mother's Day? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Mother's Day is not a reason to close a court for a week. So they must be just going dark for everybody's sanity's sake.
Maybe they're taking a break. Yeah. Yes.
But the reality is that is what it is, and that is good for me to know, because I was going to quit my job. I'm not my day job, guys. This job, I'm doing this show, because it's like, okay, wait a minute. Hey, Deanna, let's do an AfterBuzz show about the DeppHeard trial. And so, my vision
it was a big
something a little bit different than because I wasn't really thinking, that's going to take some work, Wendi.
Yeah, well, so when you said we got to do it every day, that's when I was like, oh, she's serious.
Yeah.
This is legit.
And then Deanna comes and
says,
this
Wendy's a pro.
Let's do it. Let's do the clips because I said, well, let's do 1 hour of conversation, because, my creative brain starts going, this is just fodder for the audience. And then this is how stuff happens here. And then Deanna said, well, let's not do that, Wendi. Let's do clips on Friday, because it's dark on Friday. Court is dark on Friday, right? They don't do court on Friday. Right. So we would just do fun clips where, the whole audience, everybody on Fireside can just find their clips and have some fun with it. And we'll see how that show goes on Friday. We might discontinue that as well. No, I don't think so, but we'll see.
It was just too much. We were thinking to do this every day and then also do a clip show after this show. And I was like,
it's too much.
And we did that the first day, and we tried to move everybody over.
Yeah. And you have your show. You had your show before this show, which was a long show for you. And then we did this show. Mm-hmm. And then Thursday, I've been reminded by my fans that I don't even have a show scheduled for my Thursday show, because I totally forgot about my Cooper time, right? My weekly show.
Right. So you have your weekly show on Thursday. I have a clubhouse room I run on Thursdays too. So I mean, we have other stuff, and these are all the free things we're doing, and then we have jobs.
Yes, but we are just letting you know that we are here to podcast from the passion and purpose of our hearts. And I might want to close this out with Russell Brand is, for me, he's just so freaking amazing. And it was really cool. He goes on these rants, right? And so he did a rant, and I hope the clip worked that I clipped of Russell, but I don't think it did. So Dale is a big Russell fan also. He's in the audience, and Russell did a show today, and I want to find in it. He does this rant that's so beautiful. Hold on. I have to go to it, and it's going to start playing automatically. A commercial will. You can talk.
What I have realized, it's a 17-minute clip.
That Johnny.
No. It's a 17-minute show, but I'm only going to find this ranting clip that he does. That is so awesome.
Okay.
I think it's this. Hold on.
Are you lacking working capital right now to scale or start a business? And did you know you can fund...
Just stop it.
Amber Heard will be testifying in the Johnny Depp trial.
It just is out of control. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right.
I did not mean to do that.
You good? It's okay. I do it all the time.
I'm good. I was just really trying to subscribe.
I'm not even sure if this is the clip, but I think
talk about publicly, but generally I find it helpful to talk about as part of my own commitment to spreading a message, is that we must find a way past our accreted trauma so that we can become the people we truly are and be of service to others. While my own life is an ongoing struggle against selfishness and self-centeredness, through practicing these principles in my affairs, I do become free of many of the challenges of behavioral addiction and substance misuse that dogged my life for many, many years. So seeing the sort of the spectacle of people who are perhaps in the grips of some form of addiction based on what they have said themselves and based on what's come out throughout the trial, I would certainly say that a 12-step program is a way out of it. And also the fact that it's a good reminder for the rest of us that the lifestyle of celebrity fame, the paraphernalia, the apparent glory is a simulacrum, as a kind of a synthesis of beauty rather than beauty itself, which can only be found by engaging inwardly and living a life of purpose and meaning. But you don't need me to tell you that. The step.
So I thought, and there's many things that he says in today's. So if you go back and listen to today's, it for me, like I made a comparison, and I think I irritated people because I got a weird note about it. But I made a comparison of Russell Brand to Joe Rogan in a different show, and what I was trying to really say is that Joe Rogan is he doesn't go. He's not as trained in all of the different areas of spirituality, and he doesn't go deep into psychology and go deep into things like that. He's just kind of a surface guy, right? It's like he had Macaulay Culkin on today, and Macaulay Culkin and Joe Rogan are talking about Johnny Depp. I had these clips, but it was from the other thing, right? And Macaulay Culkin says to Joe Rogan, well, they were talking about how, Johnny Depp is just about money, and, you get so famous, you make all this money. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, excuse me, Joe Rogan, you got paid $100 million by Spotify. And now you're talking about how Johnny Depp became ruined because of his money, right?
Right, because he lost $22 million contract. If you would, if you wouldn't have got your $100 million, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it was so, but it was just ironic. It was like so surface. Right. And then Macaulay Culkin says, well, I would have all that money too if I did what he did. Yeah, but you weren't, and you didn't, because you were just the guy that went like this and got famous when you were a little kid.
Right.
You cannot compare yourself to this guy. Neither
you weren't, you didn't, and you couldn't. You couldn't have been, because you're not the talent.
And then the kicker. Oh, and then they went on about how boring it must be to play the same pirate thing over and over and over again. How boring must that be? I mean, why would he ever want to do it's all about the money.
That's your creation.
Oh. Okay. So, but the kicker was this. So the movie that Johnny Depp did called The City, the one about Tupac, the one that's something City. The one that's just recent. Not recent, past couple of years. But Macaulay Culkin goes on. And Joe, do you know what happened just today? They pulled the movie that he was in from he was in with Tupac, but with big B.I.G. whatever, which is on Netflix. It's called City. I had it here. Okay,
I'm gonna find
they didn't pull it. They pulled it from the box office in 2018.
City of Lies.
City of Lies, right? After it didn't pull the box office receipts it was supposed to, and it went to on demand.
Just went to streaming, right?
Mm-hmm. But Macaulay Culkin was so ill-informed that he was telling Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan's entire audience that movie got pulled because of what was happening right now.
I bet you Netflix is so glad they have it, because probably everybody's going to watch it now because of the trial.
That's disinformation. Okay. That is disinformation.
But they are sensationalists. That's what Joe Rogan is. That is not what Russell Brand is doing. As a matter of fact, Russell Brand is like, I used to be that. I used to be, look at me. It's all about me, so my attention. And then I had this breakdown, and then I had this breakthrough. And so now he recognizes where he was coming from in that place, and that's why you get some depth from him.
Well,
but
he looks at things
from the case of Joe Rogan.
He looks at it from a myopic point of view, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan is just looking for the sensationalism. It's just about the clicks. It's clickbait, just like that title of the article that was put out by the Washington Post when they put it online. That it's called clickbait.
Right.
It made people go and look at the article.
It was just such a. I only listened to it. Of course, Joe's show is 3 hours long. I know Dale. He's in the audience or was in the audience. He listens to Joe, so I don't know if he listened to today's show. But that few pieces of Macaulay Culkin. You guys, this is the guest on Joe Rogan's show who he's talking to for 3 hours. Who cares what he has to say? I mean, honestly, I don't. So anyway, it's such the comparison, do apples to apples, right? Joe Rogan would not command the presence of Eckhart Tolle on his show.
Right.
Or as a guest, or the Dalai Lama on his show, Russell Brand gets. I mean, seriously. So anyway, I apologize if I offended anybody who doesn't feel as though my opinion of Joe Rogan is right on, but it's my opinion.
No, I mean, he gets to do what he has to do, but it's just you recognize the place that it's in for what it is. That's all.
Speaking out of both sides of his mouth today about this guy will do anything for money. Oh, but Joe Rogan got paid $100 million. He has a $100 million contract with Spotify. Just speaking out of both sides of your mouth, right? So that I have a problem with that.
I guess because pots and kettles.
Yeah,
Oh,
and most people in podcasting don't make a penny because Joe Rogan took it all.
Right.
I don't have any money left to pay anybody else. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Well, I guess if nobody's coming up, nobody's just ponying up here.
They're afraid of me.
Everybody's just hanging back and chilling. Is it you? Is it me?
So I don't know. Either Dale is sleeping, Ron's sleeping. But thank you, Dale. Right? You go down the line. We'll go one at a time. I go. Thank you, Dale, for being here.
Dale, and thank you, Ron, for being here.
Wait, but thank you. Also, we enjoyed having you in the audience.
Gail, so nice to see you today.
Brandy, we would love for you to return tomorrow, and Gail and Waitbot and Ron and Dale. And then there's
Truthful Sweet, and Judy.
Oh, where's Judy? Oh,
she's
Judy
in the front end.
I have to open up Judy.
Because she's the only one who clapped for us, so now she's in the front of the line. We should have named Judy first. Let's name her a few more times. We really appreciate you, Judy. Yes. And we know now that you are not a bot from Fireside because you gave us a clap. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And we appreciate everybody hanging in there and putting up with our opinions and me interrupting Deanna every 5 minutes because I do realize that I do that.
Oh, well, we do that. I do that too. It's all good. And we both got to blast some YouTube clips without meaning to and just whatever. It happens.
This is live on Fireside here. Let's be reminded by our fearless leader. Oh, wait. I got to turn it up. This is
created live on Fireside.
I know you all think that's me, but it's not.
I know, it does sound like it could be you.
Yeah, most people think it is me, and it's weird because when I heard it, I was actually on a Zoom call, and Fallon was on the Zoom call. Fallon Fatimi, she's the founder here, and and I looked at her and I go, "That's you, right?" And she was so proud. She was so proud because when you get a little voice clip right, I totally got it.
Right.
Like she was really proud that that's me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
live on Fireside.
All right. Thank you. Oh,
right.
Ashley.
So we still haven't. Oh, hi, Ashley. We have a newcomer. We still haven't come up with our outro. We just got to do that.
Here. I just have my outro music. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here at the DeppHeard AfterBuzz. We will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific,
9 p.m. Central,
and
8 p.m. Eastern.
And sometime somewhere else
in the
future.
and 9 a.m. in Australia.
So jump in tomorrow. Join us on Friday for our clip show. Have some clips ready. This is an audience participation thing. Nobody wanted to participate tonight. We are not offended. Right? We're not offended.
Slightly.
But maybe we're out of here. So have a great night, everybody. Right, Deanna? Stay safe, stay healthy.
Yep.
Stay free, as Russell would say. Thanks for listening.
That's right. See you guys later. Play us out, Wendi.
What should I play us out with? I don't have a good one.
Oh,
let me play you out here.
I can play something at Danny's.
No, okay, you can play something at Danny's. I was going to play Creep. I was going to play Haley's Creep, but go ahead. You can play Danny's.
You can do that if you want.
So Haley Reinhart, she was like, I have this little story to tell. I loved Haley Reinhart on American Idol, right? When she was on years ago, American Idol. Okay. And I was so upset that she didn't win. Right. And then, okay, I'm trying to bring it up. Then I go to a party at Ariana Savalas' house. I go to Ariana Savalas' pancake birthday party. I happen to know them, the Savalas family, Telly Savalas, Kojak, all that. All right. I walk in, it's a pajama party. It's a PJ party. And I had to go to Target to get a set of PJs before I went because I didn't have any. And I walk in and I go around the corner and, oh my God, Haley and what's his name? The big tall guy with the long hair that she's always with was standing in the kitchen. And I just, said, okay, this is the first time I'm going to freak out, but oh my God, and so I did that whole fandom thing.
I'm fangirling.
I did, but I overdid it intentionally. So anyway, then that was a very small party. About a month later, I'm at the Hotel Cafe in Hollywood, and I am there alone. And it's a little underground kind of place. And Ariana was going to be playing something there by myself, supporting my friend, and I'm sitting at the bar feeling very uncomfortable, and Haley walks in and she sits down next to me, and I was like, oh my God, Haley. She goes, oh my God, pajama lady. And that was that. So anyway, I've seen Haley many times since, and I always love this rendition of her Creep will play. It's long, but it's beautiful. And we'll go out with this song. You guys can jump out of here anytime you want, but we'll just let the song play. Right, Deanna? Is that okay?
Yeah, you want to play the whole song? That's fine, yeah.
Because you have to end the show. End it whenever, but here we go.
Okay.
When you were here before, you couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep. so very special. Yeah, I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. Ooh, I said it, I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? Oh yeah, oh no, oh, I don't belong here. I don't belong here.
That was Creep, vintage postmodern jukebox Radiohead cover, Haley Reinhart. You can find it on YouTube. Deanna, thank you for sitting through.